a lot more to a distillery than just an awesome tasting. So come on. Before we do anything, what you really need to understand is the basic premise of all of this, is that the closest thing that distillers are, in terms of our cousins, so to speak, we're bakers and we're brewers. Most important process of this whole thing we've covered is the cooking process. And when you start thinking about the cooking process, there's two main inputs. There's grain and there's water, right? And we can cook in all these things, we can distill in all these things. If we don't do the cook well, it doesn't even matter. And so when we're talking about bread, for instance, if we were bakers, you stick to a really firm ratio. If I want to make a nice sticky ciabatta, 90% hydration, sell that stuff at Panera, really good margins, I'm gonna get rich, right? Nice, sticky, and what's gonna end up happening is we put that in the oven, and you think about it, it's yeast, it's water, it's great. Come on, people, we gotta go. Don't just be staring at all these beautiful barrels. The biggest thing to remember is that we are bakers and we are brewers. We're taking yeast and mixing it with hydrated water and grain. We're letting that ferment, and then our final product varies slightly. So if we were brewers, right, our final product has to taste good. We tell when we drink it. They use a lot less grain than we do. And if we were bakers, oh boy, we need all that protein as our product. Gluten, protein, wheat, that's what makes bread. Leavening, boom, that's the yeast gas. In our process, we let that cook off because our final product needs to go through a still. And that's crazy when you think about it. So in terms of the amount of water we use, dictates whether we're a brewer, a baker, or a distiller. All the end products are the same, right? Wrong. So for bakers, they're gonna take their slurry, they're gonna cook it, you're gonna gas off all the CO2, our final product is the protein, is the bread. For brewers, it's the liquid. We covered that. Not a lot of grain, a lot of liquid making grain flavored water. Here, we construct a porridge. I mean, literally a porridge. Oatmeal, grits, porridge, whatever you wanna call it, that's what we got here. Very thick, almost 2.5 pounds per gallon of water. That'd be some funky bread, right? But it's really important to our process. And instead of capturing our CO2, like bread does, we let it escape to the ambient atmosphere to be vented, because that is not what we're doing. We're collecting the ethanol that bread makers make and cook off in the oven. That's beside the point. Because the biggest, most important thing that you need to remember is that at the Dancing Goat, we're here to connect with you at an emotional and educational level. There's no more putting things behind closed doors. We intentionally cook whiskey mash to ferment it, to make delicious whiskey, goes in this still, separates from everything, and it goes in as a grain slurry, like that beer we were looking at. It comes out completely clear. But when you see it, it's brown. How does it get brown? Barrels. It comes off the still. It fills the tank. We fill the barrels. And then it sits about 6 years. It's a long time to wait. Long time to wait for good whiskey. But I'll tell you what, it's worth the wait. And if you have the time to come and see it, and learn a little bit more about this process, a little more what we're doing, you might find that we're not your average Joes. You see yourself out. I'll see you later.